Andrew here, Sterilizer Autoclave Solutions, 704-966-1650, option 3 for free technical support. Charlie 634 error code, sterilizer mode, pressure low. Items not sterile, unplug, replug. So we're gonna, this indicates pressure leaks. So places this might leak, door gasket or dam gasket. If you're not replacing this, quarterly, it could be monthly depending on how many cycles you're running. If you're seeing this thing, the gasket bounce, that's bad. If you don't have a door ring, that's bad. Also, this is how it should sit. Everything should be inside of this outer ring. We could have issues if you pulled it out and cleaned it, this gasket will warp from here to here after it sits here for a long period of time. So if you pulled everything out and cleaned it and then flipped it around, so where this was up here like this, then that could cause a leak. It's terrible, but it could. So if you have this problem and you know that you pulled the gaskets out, then just double check. You can pull it out. You can see it warped because this is fatter. And you can see it warped. So it could be the gaskets, door gasket, dam gasket. Dam gasket lasts a little bit longer than the door gasket. It's just a fatter piece of rubber and just kind of sits down here. Sometimes they'll melt to the chamber. Then you obviously need to replace it. So you're gonna wanna make sure that all the gaskets are seated properly. Worn or damaged gaskets, water leaking around the door. Verify door and dam gaskets are installed properly. Replace gasket kit 1 time a year. Again, that's depending on cycle usage. If you're using these things, 10 cycles a day, you're running them back to back, you're loading tons of instruments in it, that is not going to last you a year. So, so leaking or defective air valve. Check for excessive steam coming through condensation coil spout. During the heat and vent modes, it is normal for steam to be exhausting through the spout. So if you have patience to do that, we can walk you through it. You're gonna have to take the left side, right side panel off, top cover off, back panel off, and then we still have to leave the top cover plugged in here and the power cord plugged in so that you can run a cycle, but you'll have to get to the reservoir, which is over here. Inside of there's a condensation coil. You never want to see it dripping through there during the heat up part. As it's purging and condensing, it will spit out. But if you're running a test cycle and you're seeing water flow out and drip, then that usually indicates a leak in the air valve. Okay, so you're leaking or defective pressure relief valve. Check for water, steam leakage from beneath the rear of the sterilizer. Okay, so the pressure relief valve is under here. You can pull on it. That's how you engage the pressure relief valve. But there's a tube that it flows down here, and then underneath the bottom here, that's where it drains to. So if you are constantly seeing water in the back right-hand corner underneath the unit, or you're seeing it drip out the right side, it could be that your pressure relief valve is bad. It's pretty easy to replace as long as it wasn't put in too tight. But again, you'd have to take all the covers off, side panels off. Give us a call before you do that. Pressure transducer tubing is leaking. Check for steam leakage at pressure transducer tubing connections. Okay, so there's zip ties here. That's all that hold these on. Sometimes these will kink it and it'll spray out, or they become loose or they slide back too far. If you have an older unit, you might want to pull that off completely. Obviously not when it's under power, but pull it off, because once you pull this off, pressure will fly out. You pull it off, you recut these rubber pieces to get a nice fresh tight squeeze on the nipple there. Check for leaking or defective vent valve. This is the vent valve. Check for water leaking from condensation coil spout. That's again in here. With the top cover off and everything open, you can really see what's leaking and what's not. But again, you're gonna need some patience, a big open area, a couple tools. Not a huge deal. Check all plumbing fitting connections for leakage. So it's really nice, like I said, to run this with the cover off, because now we can inspect these valves. You might see leaks come out from underneath here where they screw it to the manifold. You can look underneath You might see leaking coming from the heating element area. There's gaskets there that go bad over time. There's plumbing under there that goes bad over time, or loosens up as this thing gets hot and vents and whatever. So you're going to check all the fittings, tighten or replace the fittings if necessary. Usually you can just throw whatever size wrench on it, tighten it up a little bit, and it'll close it off. Okay, and then from there, it could be the temperature sensor is malfunctioning. Temp sensor is back in here. It's way in the back here. Make sure it's not crowded. Make sure nothing's leaning on it. Make sure it's not dirty. We have speed clean. You can run a couple speed clean cycles. You get a abrasive pad. You scrub that off with some distilled water and abrasive pad. Otherwise, it's a little bit more technical stuff. You'd have to get a multimeter. We unplug the temp sensor. This is the temp sensor. We unplug it. We do a resistance test. You'll need to refer to the manual for the specs of that. It could be the sterilizer is unlevel, so we want to make sure that this is level at all times. The front feet are slightly bigger than the back feet, so if you have it, the back up too high or the front up too high, it'll make it get either too much water, too little water. It'll overheat. It'll do all kinds of wacky stuff. And then we can do a facility voltage test. You would need a multimeter for that one as well. Basically, you would unplug the unit from the wall, plug the unit back, or plug your multimeter red and black leads in there, and you should read voltage for, for a 115 model, which is this model. The voltage needs to be 104 to 127 volts AC. And then for a 220 model, it needs to be 207 to 253 volts AC. So this is a pretty lengthy error code. Couple things, sterilizer's level, possibly the wall voltage you can check, and then any pressure leaks, door gaskets. Stay up on your maintenance, the pressure relief valve, make sure it's not leaking in the back corner here. If the air vent bellows is bad or something's clogged in the condensing coil, you're gonna have to take the whole cover off. So please give us a call. If you like this video, please share it, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more error code videos.